Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about why you should start a business right now and why it is the best time for you. I'm also going to give you some of my best tips for people who are starting their business and perhaps don't know exactly what business they want to start, and some useful information on how you can make that a success from day one. Now, the reason that you should start a small business right now is because the opportunities have never been greater. Everyone has access to the internet. It's been around for a very, very long time, and people know how to use it. And with that comes so much opportunity. Now, one of the biggest objections that I generally see from people is the fact that they say, well, you know, this certain thing's very saturated. I see a lot of people who are selling cupcakes, or they're selling candles, or they're doing what I want to do. Now, that's not a problem. Because if it is a market where there's clearly lots of people doing it, it generally also means that there's a lot of demand. Now, of course, there are some exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, for most small businesses, it's not an issue for them to do something that someone else is already doing. And actually, it proves the fact that the business model already works and there are people willing to spend money. But the question is, are they going to spend money with you, or are they going to spend money with a competitor instead? And to paraphrase something that Gary Vee says, is the fact that your patience, or your lack of patience, is the thing that's killing your business. Most people have this ambition to start their own business, but they quite literally want to get rich super quick, and it's hard work. There's no two ways around it, and that's why most businesses fail, because people don't realize how hard work it is. So they have this idea, they start, and then they instantly think, hey, this isn't for me, or I'm just gonna kind of, a bit like going to the gym. If I was to use that, that's probably the best analogy. Everyone on the 1st of January is a new year, new me. I'm gonna head to the gym, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna do these things. They go to the gym for maybe a month, a couple days, a week, and then they start to tether off and their bad habits come back in. And because they don't have the patience to see it through long enough to achieve the results, to achieve that goal that they had in mind. And it's the same with business as well. People think, you know, I'll make £1 million by the end of the year, or make £1 million in 2 years, but they haven't really thought about that whole process and journey. And the best thing to do is, if you are gonna start a business, and this is a real top tip here, is just to do what you love. If you are only starting a business based on the fact that you want to make £1 million, or you want to make a financial figure, it makes it really hard to get up in the morning if your business isn't doing very well. Most businesses will fall through peaks and troughs, and hopefully the general flow over a period of years will always be upwards. But when you're in those lower months where you've perhaps spent a lot, or you haven't had as many sales as you had hoped, if your only goal is a financial reward, then you're going to instantly start to have some doubt. And that's the reason, again, that a lot of businesses fail, is because they have a financial target and they're not necessarily doing what they love. They're just going for the money, and as a result, when they have some bad months, it's very easy to pull the plug, because their passion is no longer in it, because they're not getting the results that they want, and they certainly won't be getting them as quick as they want them to be. And that's where you need to be a patient person. Now, the good thing is, everyone can learn this. If you're thinking at the moment, well, I'm not a particularly patient person, don't worry, I'm not. I have learned something over this last year with everything that's been going on in the world, that actually I am one of the most impatient people there are, and I've learned a lot about myself, about how I want everything to happen right now. The business sometimes I feel doesn't grow quick enough, and I've got 4 businesses now, and each of them are doing exceptionally well compared to others. But for me, I just always want that next thing. And I've had to really learn through meditation, mindset, and mindfulness that actually it's okay to just go through the flow. Ultimately, do I enjoy my life? Yes, I have a great work-life balance. I have a great lifestyle that I'm happy with. So sometimes it's not about being so content that you stop, but it's also about being able to understand where you are at the moment, and just how to get to that next step, and always analyzing it, but to be patient, because again, people's lack of patience is something that destroys their businesses when they're starting out, because they want to get rich very quick. Of course, you know, you hear these things. We say it with our own course, our Perspective Academy, where we train filmmakers and photographers on how to create stable income, create a predictable and consistent cash flow for their business, and ultimately take their businesses to the next level. And we say from the offset, this is not a get rich quick scheme. Of course, it will happen quicker for some people than others, and it's a very subjective term. For some people, to make £100,000 in a year would be very quick. In other people's, it wouldn't be very quick, because they would have different targets. And that's something that most businesses have no control over whatsoever. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips right now that have certainly helped me over this period of time in starting each one of my businesses, that I definitely recommend that you take on board for starting your own business right now. So number one is what we've already covered, which is do what you love. Write down on a piece of paper right now 5 things that you're really passionate about. What kind of things do you enjoy doing? What do your friends perhaps say that you're good at as well? Ask them. Say, if I was going to start a business, what do you think that I would do? And they might say, well, you know, I think you're a very creative person, so I think doing something within this industry. Perhaps you're a really good photographer, or you have a real passion for photography and you want to make that a full-time career. But think about, what is it that you really enjoy doing? What would you get up early for on the coldest, darkest winter morning? What would you get up to do and still enjoy it? Write that down on a list, and that will start to give you a bit of an understanding of what kind of businesses you should go into. Tip number 2 is looking at what skill sets do you already have. So for me, I started out as a professional skier, and when I moved over to my first business, which was Perspective Studios, which is a video production company, I was able to look at the skill sets that I already knew. So I knew how to ski. I could ski very well with a camera. So therefore, when I approached action sports businesses, I was able to give them a unique offering, something that other people weren't able to do because of my existing skill set. So I took my passion, my hobby for filmmaking, and I took the skill set I already knew, and I merged them together to make this a package for people within an industry I was passionate about that they simply couldn't refuse. That brought a really unique dynamic point of view to them. Now, your skill set might be something simple as, you know, you are very good at writing. Now, that might not sound like the most luxurious job that will potentially take you all over the world or anything like that. But if you're good at writing, why not consider starting a business in freelance copywriting? Or most businesses now are moving over to social media, which means they need to be posting content regularly. Now, to post content is a skill set that you can learn really easily. And if you are already good at writing words that engage with audiences, that use buzzwords and keywords and really would benefit a business who perhaps aren't very good at writing things or coming up with ideas themselves, then you can offer that service to a business. And all you need to do is just go to them and say, hi, I'm a freelance copywriter. I write all your content for your social media feeds, things that actually connect with your audience and help you sell your products more. Now, if I'm not very good with words, and admittedly I'm not, then that's a service that I perhaps would consider myself to have someone do that and take that off of my hands, because it's going to take me a lot longer to come up with those ideas myself, because I really struggle to take what I'm thinking creatively in my head and write that down onto paper. But if you can do that for me, then that saves me a huge job that I don't actually enjoy doing. And that leads me very nicely onto my 3rd tip, which is, who can you help? Write down right now, what kind of people can you help? What things can you already do that could help other businesses, and what kind of problems might they be facing? Every single business in the world is going through this point where they have their current situation, where they are right now, and their future situation, the position that they would like to be in. That's their goal, that's their target. And that might be a 5-10 year goal, it might be a 1-month goal, it might be a smaller goal, but everyone has the current situation and their desired situation. So if you can look at a particular industry, perhaps it's something you already have experience in, or you can look at a certain set of businesses or your skill set or things that you enjoy and start to think, how can I help people? For us, we can help businesses grow and make sales because we can create really engaging content that connects with their audience, and it can turn someone who's never heard of this business before into a paying customer. Now, that's really, really powerful for a startup business that needs to get customers through their doors. We can create a series of content for them that helps them get sales from day one, and that presents their business as a professional brand and not just an amateur startup, which will turn a lot of customers off because they'll ultimately be worried whether or not they're a scam. So have a little think about, who can you help and what kind of things does that look like in relation to the other questions. And before long, you'll have a nice bit of paper where you can start to pull things together and think, well, I can provide this thing that I really enjoy using this skill set to help this kind of person. And that becomes a really powerful tool for starting up a business. And don't be put off by the fact that other people might be doing a similar thing to you. Just get your head down and do what you love, and then maybe make it your goal to be better than that person. I would be foolish to think that I am the only videographer in my local area or indeed in the world. Of course, there are hundreds of thousands to millions of them. So what can we do differently? What kind of service can we provide that kind of separates us from everyone else? So don't worry about finding an industry or finding an idea for a business that no one's ever done before. Just go with what you're passionate about, and you can figure this stuff out as you go. You can definitely change your business's dynamic. You can start off making candles and then expanding that into an online shop or an online store where you then start to sell candles, flowers, cupcakes, all these different things to start to increase your overall turnover. You don't need to just be set on one idea. You can definitely broaden it as you get more experience and as the time changes. Now, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but it is hard work. There's no two ways around it. You need to work very hard. If you were going to push a car, you have to put in 80% more effort at the start to get the car rolling. Then once it's rolling, you've got some momentum, and business is no different. When you start, it's a lot of hard work. You need to put in a lot of effort to get everything right, to get the idea, to get your website together, to get your email addresses together, to get everything ready before you even make your first pound or your first dollar. But once you do start to get customers and your business starts to grow, it becomes so much easier because you have momentum. But what most people do is they push, and then they give up just before that car was going to start rolling by its own and things were starting to get easier. You see it time and time again. People try, and they stop here just before the business curve goes up and they start to really flow into that. Now, this might take some people a month. This might take some people a year or 2 years or 3 years. Every business is very different, but that's why you shouldn't give up. If you want to have your own business, which you clearly do because you're watching this video, then I really hope that you just stick to it. Be patient, work hard, get your head down, do what you love, and you will definitely have a business at the end of it that makes money, and that you could even consider quitting your full-time job at the moment to do that full-time. I know plenty of business owners in all different industries that you think, wow, you'd have to sell a lot of candles in order to make that your full-time job, but they've done it. They've exceeded it because they've done what they love, and as a result, their business has been able to grow. And like I said, there's no better time. You've got online shops, you've got online marketing that anyone can do now. You can reach people that have never heard of you, and it's never been easier to find people who are looking to buy your product. You just need to get your product in front of the right faces in order to start making those sales. A waiting list is also a final tip. I'm just gonna fit this in here super quick. A waiting list is a great idea. If you've got a business idea and you're not sure if there's a huge demand on it, create a waiting list. Tell people, look, this is what we're going to be doing, but I need to know there's interest in this. Register your interest now and get a free XYZ, or register your interest now and you will get 10% off your first order when we launch our product. That way, you've got a list of people waiting to buy your product. All you need to do is make it and then start selling it, and that will create a real bit of buzz around it. Facebook pages are free to start. Same with Instagram, so get on all of those platforms, get your business out there, stick to it, be patient, and I wish you all the best. If you have found this video useful, please smash that subscribe button, join the community where I've made it my mission to give more away for free than most people would have you pay for. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, then join the community, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Peace.